What's up YouTube? My name is Amos Bro. For this video we are going to be talking about anime hype, and we're going to be talking about this in terms of seasons. We're also going to be talking about this as far as how does UtaPri stack up when you look at the way things are going to be going. First off, let's understand this. What are the seasons and what is their duration typically? Okay. We're going to start with winter and we're going to work our way back to fall. Winter goes from about December to, we'll say, April. From April to July is the spring season. July to October is the summer season. October to, well, excuse me, when I say October, a little bit before October, but you get the idea. From about, say, the end of September, early October to December is going to be your fall season. So you see where we're going? The way I've always looked at it, in my mind, is the winter season is kind of like this. It's kind of flat. It picks up a little bit when you get to the spring usually. The summer is usually when it really jacks up, and then it comes back down a little bit when you get to the fall, and then the cycle repeats. Well, this year for me, as I've mentioned, I'm sure, this first half of the year was kind of a dead period for me. I had no hype. Because when I looked at every one of the shows that was coming out for the season, I kind of looked at it like, what the fuck? Literally, I was looking at these past two seasons, the winter and the spring season, and I was going, what the fuck? There was nothing in there. The only thing that I was literally hyped for was 5th stage for UtaPri this year, when we were finding out when the new season was going to be, and we found out that it was this year, and we also found out it was in October. Which has still left us with more questions than answers, and now, when you really look at the layout of the spring season, or excuse me, the summer season and the fall season, whew, it's got a chance of getting crushed. See, UtaPri's strength has been its season placement. The past two seasons, Revolutions and 2000, going backwards, were both placed in the springtime. So in the April, from April to June. Okay. Its first season was a summer season showing. So from June to September. Okay, not bad at all. Now you're in the fall season. And you're in what I will argue to be, this year, one of your most competitive as far as ratings goes. Because you've got UtaPri Sama Legend Star. I hate calling it by that name, by the way. Probably Yuri on Ice is going to get put in there, as we've discussed. If it's not put in there, it'll be in December, and then it's fine. But maybe Yuri on Ice will be put there. All Out is going to be there. You've got the final season of Haiku. Well, I'm saying the final season. It might be the final season. But just based on those four, whew, man. Then if we find out there's a show called Magic Kion Renaissance. And if it was put in the summer, well, you had the continuation of D Gray Man. You got B Project. Hold on, let's look at the schedule together. You got D Gray Man Hollow, you got B Pro. Let's see, what else we got in here that could be of any uh-ohs to them. Oh, and what's this one? Suki Uta, the animation. That's the one about the months that are actually, they do like, what is it called? Anamorphic months. Literally, they're humans that represent each month. It's weird, but the concept of it kind of looks cool to me, so I might watch that. But this brings us to the point of the video. It's about hype. It's also about figuring out what you should do to make sure you're not going to get crushed in the ratings. Because whether we want to believe it or not, UtaPri, like I said in last night's video, well, 2 nights ago now, is one of the best animes, and it's one of the longest running animes based on Odame's series that they've managed to separate. Now you're in this season. Now you're also in the winter season, and you've got to pull out everything. And the fact that there's no information based on the season yet is kind of scary, considering you're up against a 25 episode rugby anime, and it's confirmed to be 25 episodes, potentially another 25 episodes for Haiku. I don't know how many they're going to do for the Magic Kion series. And if they do, not all out, Yuri in October, it might be around maybe 11 or 12. So that one, if you have a chance of, quote, winning against a show like that, it's because your show goes on for maybe an extra week or two. But the tricky part is going to be you're going against Haiku and you're going against All Out, two which have been known to run for 25 episodes each. Well, All Out, we don't know if it's going to be a 25 episode every season, but this season it is. Haiku is known for running 25 episodes, though. And we also know its pedigree. Also, its mangas are actually coming out in a few weeks, and I've actually pre-ordered them. I've actually pre-ordered the first 2 mangas for Haiku, and I've ordered the omnibus, the first 2 volumes for Kuroko's Basketball, the English version. So that's going to be awesome to have in my possession. Because I actually have, I mentioned this before I think, the Japanese version of the first volume of the manga. But these 2 seasons coming up are legitimately ones I am hyped for. Because everything I have mentioned, with the exception of maybe DGM Hollow, are series that I am seriously hyped for. Well, I said, let me correct that. DGM Hollow and Haiku, because I've not watched the first 2 seasons yet. But this is what is going to happen, and I'm afraid that for UtaPri, it's going to get obliterated. Now, you could say that when the DVD sales came out, well, for the most part, it beat Kuroko's Basketball. You're right. The only thing of it is okay, can you caught lightning in the bottle one time. I don't see you being able to do it twice. Because now you have to beat out Haiku, and you're going to have to beat out All Out. All Out you might have a better chance with. If only because I don't think anybody really knows anything about that series. And if they do, then they haven't let me in on it. Its survival this season is going to be paramount. This is why also I think it is very crucial that for this season they do not let Starish or Court Night dominate it. It must be a season where we start to develop Heavens. It must be. There is no way around it. Especially if you want to continue this show for another season. Because if the DVD sales or the ratings are shit, you're not seeing a 5th season, unfortunately. And I want to. So, that's just me. It also doesn't help that, like I said, let's look at the summer. You got stuff like DGM Hollow, which will be out. Cute Hire Defense Club 2nd season. B Project. Cute Hire Defense Club. Between DGM Hollow, this is just my opinion, between DGM Hollow and Cute Hire Defense Club, those were the 2 worst announcements that you could hear if you're Broccoli. Because you've got 2 series. One, nobody thought was going to do anything because it was kind of one of those that they kind of just started hyping like really close to the end of really close to its premiere date, and here it kind of blew up. But now Cute High doesn't have the element of surprise anymore. Now that series actually has to live up to its first season. And can the second season do it? Let's hope so. I think it can, as long as it remembers what it is and doesn't try to be something overly serious. If you remember that you're a slapstick version of the magical girl genre, basically, just with dudes, it's going to do fine. Here's why DGM Hollow is going to be a killer for the UtaPri franchise. It's been about, 8 years since the last time an episode of DGM aired. Now they're doing a new season. What might help UtaPri is the fact that it's only 13 episodes. So there might be some people in the DGM fandom that are kind of bummed and don't really want to watch it, and they'll watch it later when it actually plays out. But somehow I don't see that happening, especially with how insanely popular the mangas are. So you're hinging your bet right at this point that the second season of Cute High can't live up to the hype of its first season, and you're hinging on the bet that the DGM Hollow continuation is going to be absolute shit. Somehow I don't think that's going to happen, but you have 13 episodes and they, in the trailer, look like they were covering 2 arcs. That could be a problem, especially if they don't do it right. But also, let's talk about B Project because we need to. For those who don't know who created B Project, that is Takanori Nishikawa. TM Revolution. Takanori makes revolution. This show is another idol anime. What is making me kind of cringe, I want to see it do well. Here's what makes me kind of, how do I explain this? Here's what makes me concerned for it. One of the groups is called, flat out, is called Moons. Well, what's one of the groups called in UtaPri? Heavens. If people literally look at Moons and they think that they're nothing more than a Heavens knockoff, that group ain't going to do shit in the anime. And they will get probably the most hate, especially if you're a fan of UtaPri, because you will literally think they're doing nothing but copying. You will. But believe me, you'll think they're poor man's heavens. And that's the thing I don't want to see, because I want to see the project do well. I want to see B Project do so well that it gets another season. And another one. I want to see, to me, in a weird way, even though it's based mainly off of an otome, UtaPri kind of set a standard that it literally became a life unto its own. It literally became a UtaPri world. That's why I think when I look at something like Starmue, or when I look at B Project, I am hyped for B Project, but I am worried at the same time. When it came to Starmue, or what was it, High School Star Musical, I looked at that and I went, you know, this has potential, but I've seen shown in Hollywood. And that's not a compliment. So, where are we going with this? Is basically what you're probably wondering after I've rambled for 16 minutes. When we look at seasons, we have to look at what shows really are going to make us hype. What shows will get us interested and intrigued. When we get to the winter season, okay? Are we looking forward to a show like Yuri on Ice? I am. And what other shows will come out in the winter that will really intrigue me? That's going to be paramount. When we look at the spring season, this past year, we had what shows? Bungo Stray Dogs, Joker Game. We had, haven't you heard? I'm Sakamoto, or Sakamoto Desu Ga. The problem is, at the time, just when I was reading the premises, or I had this really bad habit, and I gotta stop it. I will look at the voice actor listing, and sometimes this is what will get me hyped for a show. If I recognize a couple of big name voice actors, I'll watch it just for that reason, and hopefully everything else really hooks me. But that's a really bad habit I've got. Like, god awful. I am going to go back eventually, once season 2 ends now. I am going to go back and watch Sakamoto Tezuga. I am going to watch Bungo Stray Dogs, and I may or may not watch Joker Game. There was nothing really in the winter that I really wanted to watch, though. That was like, the winter's like almost that season for me, for the most part, that I can skip because it's literally like the dead period. This spring, for me, was just, like I said, my brain couldn't get hyped for anything that was in there. And it's not like it's anybody's fault, but like, when I looked at the names, because here's what's like weird for me, like, they'll say, such and such an anime got announced for whatever. Okay. So I'll look up the anime, and if they have a staff listing, I'll look up like the characters and the voice actors, and I'll just go, okay, here's the premise, alright, but nah, I can't. My brain just won't let me get hyped for it. It's like gaming. I can't get hype for certain things because it doesn't work for me. That's what happens with anime for me. Now, the second half of this year, like I said, this summer and the fall coming up, these are going to be awesome. And you're getting a lot of anime reviews from me. If we're lucky, you may, during the summer reviews, get me to see me doing an anime catch-up, and you may get reviews for Sakamoto Tezuka, and I don't know, maybe a Kinsaver, because that actually looks pretty interesting too. But we'll have to wait and see. So let me ask you, my dear friends, when you go and you're watching your animes, what really makes you want to sit down and watch a season? Like, how many animes do you have? Let me ask this question. Do you have a minimum number of animes that you have to have picked out to watch in the season, or else you go pass? Let me know. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. And goddamn, I rambled for 20 some minutes. Time to go. Bye bye.